In this video, I want to talk about how to find your style, your distinctive style in photography, and also how do you find your focal length and your camera gear that you're supposed to shoot with. These are questions that I think many beginners in photography are wondering about. I remember that I was thinking a lot about this. How can I develop my own distinctive style as a photographer? And I never really found a good answer for years until quite recently, like 7 years into my photography journey, where I had this realization that I have actually developed my own style, at least within macro photography. Not sure how unique it is, but I do have my own style and my own way of doing things. And the way I developed that style was both hard, but at the same time very simple. I just spent a lot of time taking photos, a lot of hours over several years. And that is, I think, what is required to develop a distinctive style in photography. At least it was required from me. The key here is that I don't think you can think or reason your way into your own photography style. You need to spend time. You need to have many cycles of going out, taking photos, coming home, reviewing them, culling, picking your favorites, and then analyzing why are these my favorites? What are the themes here? What am I looking for when I'm taking photos? And then next time you go out, you try to focus even more on that, on finding the kind of photos you like, that you feel like in your gut that this is good photography according to me. I think that is what you should aim for. And then just repeating that cycle over and over again every week for many weeks on end. And I think every time you do that, you come a very small but still significant step closer to your style in photography. So now when I have begun a new journey very recently, doing more street photography, even though I have realized that maybe street photography is not really what I'm after, I just have this approach still that I need to be aware that I will not find my style anytime soon. I need to put in the time. I need to be out every day for many days. I need to put in the hours, do these cycles where I go out, take photos of what I think my gut says that I should take photos of, what I appreciate as a photographer, coming home, looking through them, picking the favorites, picking a few photos out of hundreds, analyzing why are these my favorites, and then just repeating that cycle over and over again to slowly but steadily reinforce what my style is, what I am looking for as a photographer. To illustrate this point and to also talk a little bit about finding your focal length and your gear, let's look at some of the photos I took yesterday on my most recent photo walk. I try to go out as often as possible. I try to go out every day for a couple of hours taking photos, and usually I come home with around 200 photos, and out of these I usually pick maybe 3 to 5 that I think are good enough to keep and to maybe even publish on Instagram. So the first photo here that I deemed good enough to publish on Instagram is this one. Yesterday I was using the Samyang 45mm f1.8 lens, which I like a lot. And the reason I liked this photo, I think, is because of the composition and the colors and the ambience in the photo. It's cozy. And also, of course, the person standing here in the middle, exactly in the middle. I was lucky enough to capture the moment where this person walking was exactly in the middle. I think all of these are traits of a photo that appeal to me. Also, I think it's kind of cool with this pathway here between the buildings. Let's look at how this image was actually cropped. As you can see, it was cropped quite a bit. I think I wanted to emphasize this person here. And since I took it with a 45mm lens, and since it was still cropped a bit, that tells me that maybe I should be using an even longer focal length for my photo walks. Here's another photo that I thought was okay, but not good enough to publish. So let's not talk too much about that one. I was really happy with this photo. And again, I think what I'm drawn to here is simply the colors, the shapes, and the ambience, the light in the photo. I like how a little bit of sunlight is kissing the top of this building here, and how the sun kind of shines through the bird's wings, creating a very interesting feeling. Also, I like the minimalism in this photo, that it's clear graphical shapes, same as the last photo. And if we look at the next one I picked, very simple photo. But I think what I'm drawn to here again is minimalism, colors that complement each other and harmonize, and yeah, simple shapes. And let's look at the last one I picked. A bird taking off, a very quick shot. Again, I'm drawn to the colors. These ones are a bit manipulated. The original photo, let's look at how that looked. Yeah, the original photo was a bit different in colors. I like the original as well, but I prefer this variation. And if we look at the cropping of this photo, it's not cropped by a lot. It's a square crop, but 45mm was definitely the right choice of focal length here, because otherwise I think it would have been too cropped if I would have shot it, for example, with my Samyang 75mm. And if we look at the crop here, also just a square crop, so 45mm was the right lens choice. And here, again, just a simple square crop. So this tells me that at least for this kind of photos, I should probably keep using 45mm focal length. If I would have found that all of them were cropped, then I'm using too short a focal length, then I should go longer. But I think it's good to make this kind of introspection every time you have been out photographing. Look for what it is you like about the photos that you end up selecting for publishing, and try to internalize that feeling, because then next time you're out, you will have an easier time finding more of those photos that you like, and that will draw you slowly but steadily towards finding your style in photography. I'm not saying that this is the only way to do it, but I'm saying that this is the way I go about it. So maybe that can possibly serve as inspiration for you. Also, I think it's important to note that I don't think anyone ever arrives at their style in photography. I think as long as you're practicing photography, you will keep evolving and changing your style, because you find things and you notice things, and maybe your taste changes and evolves over time. Maybe you find new inspiration that draws you in a new direction. I think this is how it should be. You should never settle definitely on one style, because then I think you will probably just bore yourself. At least that would be the case for me. I think it's a good thing to keep evolving your style, but to do so slowly, so that you keep some kind of essence of what is you in photography. Hope you enjoyed this little video with my thoughts on finding your style in photography, and see you very soon again in the next one.